What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk to you about the top 5 short squeeze stocks that you need to add to your watch list going into the rest of the week. So I'm going to go over all the things that you need to know, but first make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So when it came down to this week, it's been kind of a kangaroo market back and forth. But with the data points that did come out on Thursday, market seems ready for a nice push higher. So a lot of the stocks that I'm going to be talking on already do have some good pre-existing momentum and also are heavily shorted. So kind of a good recipe for a little bit of a squeeze. So again, not in any particular order. So getting right to it, stock number 5, CRWV. So CRWV just recently launched, so it hasn't been trading for all that long, sitting at $100.16. Did go down slightly on Thursday, 6.73%, but that is because over the last 5 days, it's gone up 24.56%. So a lot of good momentum, a lot of volume, so big money is definitely paying attention to it. For those of you that care, this is the company profile, so feel free to pause it and read through it. It is based out of the States, but it is heavily shorted as well, especially for being obviously not being on the market that long. But 8.89% of the free float is being shorted, works out to be 13.55 million shares overall are being shorted. Cost to borrow average 97.12. That is a annual rate, not a daily rate. And then short score, so the higher the number, the higher the likelihood of a squeeze happening, is sitting at 71.46. And then through IPKR, it does show that there is 500 shares available. So that is very low, meaning you could see some institutions buy up this stock just for the purposes of lending it out. So it's a very common practice. BlackRock, Vanguard, a lot of big names make a lot of money by doing that. So again, you could see some buying going into the next couple of trading days. So this is stock number 5. Again, not in any particular order though. But getting right to the next stock, ticker is GRYP. So sitting at $1.32 over the last 1 year, it is down 12%, but over the last 1 month, up a very impressive 719.37%. And that isn't even the high. Recent high was $2.93. This is what they do. So feel free to pause it and go through it. It is Las Vegas, Nevada, based out of the States, but 8.63% of the free float is being shorted, works out to be 3.87 million shares. Cost to borrow average 149.24%, short score 75.73, and then through IBKR does indicate 700,000 shares is available to be shorted. So somewhat limited supply, so you might not necessarily see that much buying just to lend out with this stock, but of course things could change very, very fast. So let me know your thoughts on this one. Side note, if you haven't caught on yet, and even if you've watched a lot of my previous videos, I don't just choose the most heavily shorted stock. So 60-70% short interest, that's not usually the ones I like to target. I like the pre-existing momentum, and shorts just somewhat overextended. So a lot of stocks, I think, that are heavily shorted, they have a lot of toxic convertible debt products, so it's kind of a death spiral. Very hard to get out of those, but that seems to be what people really like to focus on rather than these ones, which tend to be winners. A lot of my videos, you can go back to all of them, a lot of them do run up quite significantly. So let me know your viewpoint on that. And then moving on to the next one, so Edible Gardens, ticker is EDBL, sitting at $3.91. Did go down 21.46% on Thursday, down 93.2% over the last 1 year, but it is up 111.35% over the last 1 month. So I think Thursday was a little bit more of a consolidation day. This is what they do. So based out of the States, but it is somewhat heavily shorted. So 24.36% of the free float is being shorted, works out to be 349,000 shares overall are being shorted. This is exactly what the market loves to squeeze. Heavily shorted, low float, meets the criteria. Cost to borrow average is very high, 863%. Again, that is an annual rate, not a daily rate. And then the max is in excess of 1,000. Through IBKR does indicate that there is a lonely 300 shares available. So this stock definitely will be seeing some buying over the next couple of trading days, as big money will buy it just to blend out. So definitely another one to add to your watch list. Moving on to stock number 2, ticker is SYTA, sitting at 647 over the last 1 year, down 98.42%. So definitely not doing all that great. Side note, there is a lot of good information here that I don't bring up, same as a couple other screens that I'll go over in a second, but feel free to pause and read through it. When it comes down to this stock though, over the last 5 days, it is up 104.8%. So again, a lot of good pre-existing momentum is starting to form, a lot of volume as well, so it shows that big money is really paying attention to it. This is the company profile based out of Montreal, Canada, but 30.18% of the free float is being shorted, works out to be 910,000 shares. So again, exactly what the market does like to squeeze. Cost to borrow average 769%. It is on the threshold list, so that's something to keep in mind, because any stock on the threshold list for 13 consecutive trading days, this is where the SEC is supposed to be going after the market makers, getting them to kind of rectify this kind of scenario. But short score 81.17, and then through IBKR does indicate 600 shares is available to be shorted. So another stock that you could see some buying coming from big money just to lend out. So very common thing, and again with some good momentum, tide is turning as well with the broader market. You'll see a lot of crazy things happening with these stocks. And then last but not least, you have ticker CAPR sitting at $10.86. Did go down 2.34% on Thursday. Over the last 1 year, it is up 76.79%. Over the last 5 days, it is up 11.27. So definitely a lot of good momentum with this stock. This is what they do. So based out of good old San Diego, 27.84% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 11.19 million shares overall are being shorted. Cost to borrow average 99.21%. Short score is 93.28. And you can kind of see from this green line right here, shorts have been really doubling down recently. So they are hell-bent on really bringing the stock down. So this is where, with the broader market's good momentum, you could see kind of a pinch. So it's going to come down to whether shorts are willing to risk it all and just try at all costs to bring the stock down, or if they will start to mitigate some risk and close out some of their positions. Through IBKR does indicate that there is 25,000 shares available to be shorted, so you could see some buying over the next couple of days. So let me know your thoughts on these top 5 stocks. Is there any other squeeze plays that you feel could really move up over the next couple of trading days? If so, throw some tickers in the description below and also the comments. One final thing, pop over to my Patreon and give buy signals on stocks, options, crypto, many of which have been absolutely on point, so definitely worthwhile to pop over there and take a look. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.